In 1973, French psychedelic art rockers Triangle released their third and final album, Homonymie, and from it, the track Le Dune Fée. Really impassioned vocal delivery with some really kind of like plodding rhythms and that open cadence just brimming with fullness and potential, like something intense is about to occur. Hear those synthesizers kind of buried. A slightly murky mix, I got to admit. Released in 1973 on the Pathé label, a very prolific French label at the time. I like that shuffle up of the cadence right there. That dun 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 dun. I love those like French vocals, like from that era of like the kind of like soulful belter, like borrowing somewhat from the English, but from like the English belter crooners of like the blues rock boom, but also drawing somewhat from chanson from the French, from their own national tradition as well. You can hear that kind of blues rock feel, dun 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 dun, like those what they're doing with the fifths, dun, yeah. That synthesized that almost kind of evocative, somewhat of like early Manfred Mann's Earth Band, when they were still kind of in that sort of like blues rock mode, somewhat like that hangover from like Manfred Mann's 60s era, you know. I love the tone of his voice, the purity of it all, the way that he emotes and stretches out those vowels. A one-note guitar solo. I like two lower notes. Everything underneath that guitar seems just like this one big melting kind of pot of like lava, like the bass and the thickness and darkness and of it all. We have two good guitarists credited on this album. Vocals and guitar, Dennis Luhays, who, this album seems to be the only Triangle. He also appears on that François Genoux album that I did something from a few months ago. And, and an 80s album by a band called, heavy metal band called Deafy. Yeah, I haven't come across that one before. And the other guitarist credited is Marius Lorenzini. And he's quite prolific. Let's see. And, a whole list of like solo, I'll get back to him. Now we have a change of guitar tone and more of a scale, well, kind of like an acidic, scaly bit there. I'm going to assume that that guitar solo that we just heard was by Marius Lorenzini because he seems to be the more occupied of the two guitarists credited. He has 46 credits according to Scott's, 26 instrumental performances, and I guess he was in, he was in edition special, on their 3 late 70s albums, all 3 of them. Yeah, great. Oh, that cade's dum dum bum 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 bum, kind of like that plodding sort of caveman, like heavy. Yeah, heavy on the third. Unfortunately, the lyrics aren't print anywhere. I did check. Oh, I love that effect they put on his vocal during that stretched vowel. Bit of woodwind there, mixing in with that synthesizer. Okay, now during this section, I kind of wish the mixing was just a little bit different, a little bit more clarity, because I'm having a hard time hearing like the synthesizer and the saxophone at the same time. Trying to. Hear that like whizzy kind of like upstroke on the key. Oh, that violin. And this is the next track on the album, Eloge de la Folie. Wind tunnely strings, kind of getting sort of, well, it's easy to name drop like early ELO. I'm thinking of like the No Answer album. Or heck, for that matter, Esperanto. Okay, I love how we go into, we drop after all those like open cadences and like that anticipation and waveriness. We now go into this kind of really jerky like partially closed cadence. Yeah, this really flurry, kind of windy ride of notes and like violin like weaving in and out. Half step E, F, E.
J'ai découvert le secret de la vie, je vois tout ce que les autres ne verront jamais. Je suis un impur esprit hanté par des démons qui voudraient faire de moi ce qui leur semble bon. Je suis fou.
I love the exuberance of his voice here. Okay, the violin is played by Stephane Grappelli, and wow, quite a big list of credits, over 427. Oh, wow, this guy goes born in 1908. Yeah, with a recording career that stretches back to the early 1940s. So he was 65 when he appeared on this album. And bear in mind, this is the era in which older musicians weren't playing with like younger. It was really strange for people like born, say, before like 1935, and even that's kind of stretching it. Like 1938, 39 or so to be appearing on. I mean, there were a few rockers born in like the mid 30s, say, but overall, it was strange for anyone born before 1939 to appear on an album recorded by boomer musicians, yeah.
Je vois partout la beauté qui se cache et s'essouffle à vouloir se sauver des mains de ses bourreaux, tel un oiseau blessé que l'on aurait traqué, qui ne saurait plus comment sauver sa peau. Je suis fou.
There's a certain looseness about some of this like chanson influenced like psychedelic rock. It's almost like hard to pinpoint them. They'll have like a structure, but then they'll just kind of like take liberties vocally around it and just kind of like you know, and just kind of let it fly. I like that keyboard, that like Fender. Good mix right there between the guitar and the like those like kind of, well, those as about staccatos I guess you can get from a Fender anyway. Now some kind of like Delta blues, like acoustic guitar, some. I was about to say Spanish guitar, but nah. Yeah, some bendy slide there.
Je vole ou bien je rentre au milieu du troupeau des gens dont l'existence n'est que somme et bruit, ou bien encore effroi de perdre ce qu'ils ont, qui n'est que du vent. Je suis fou.
That's quite a solo, quite tight thematically. Notice how the bass is moving, even though it's kind of like buried in the murk, that bass is moving around quite a bit and really determining the overall momentum and pace of the track. Oh, beautiful, and really, and just quite cohesive too. Giving the track kind of its identity more than anything you could say.
Bientôt me prendre et m'enfermer tout seul entre quatre murs nus afin de me punir et de peur que quelqu'un ne suive mon chemin en proclamant bien que je le décale. Pauvre fou.
I'm really curious as to what he's singing about. Yeah, if you know and you could understand it as he was like going along there, yeah, leave a comment about that. else have I not introduced yet? Let's see. On bass guitar, we got René Devaux, and this album's his only credit according to Discogs. And drums, we got Jean-Pierre Prévotat. The band is a 5-piece here. They had been a 4-piece before, but yeah, he I guess he played on all the albums. Yeah, all 3 of them. Yeah, and yeah. Oh, and I didn't point out earlier that the keyboards on this album are in fact played by François Genoux, who I did covered one of his solos, a couple of tracks from his 1975 solo album a few months ago. Yeah, Un bien curé, such a weird planet is how that title translates. Yeah, bookending the track with that same motif. Hear those sounds come together. Yeah, like one of those toll, like kind of like old, like alarm clocks and some chimes, you know, swallowing up the fading notes of that violin. Yeah, quite a creative touch there. Yeah, that was Triangle with Eloge de la Folie, and before that, La Dune Fée from their 1973 album, Homonymie. Yes, released on the Pathé label, yeah. Triangle released 3 albums between 1970 and 1973 on that label. The first 2 both self-titled, and then this one. And released numerous singles, too. Yeah, so quite varied market-wise, yeah. It looks like more than, about 20, it looks to be about 20 singles. Yeah, between 1969 and 1974. Yeah, and so I'm assuming that this band was quite popular in France anyway, and perhaps a few other European markets. Anyway, great music nonetheless, regardless of where it's been heard or yeah. The important thing is that more people hear it now in the 21st century. For more rubies and sapphires from the catalog of Triangle, see the directory of albums by French artists linked in the description below for Red Hot tracks and purples from this album and the 2 before it, and many other French bands of the time period, like Trust, Triode, Traveling, yeah, Sandros, all the ones that have been covered on this program, and many more to cover. Yeah, over 1,000 titles currently, yeah, from the 70s and 80s. Like and subscribe, follow me on social media, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the 2 tracks we just heard. The layers, the instrumentation, the interplay, the soloing, like the violin moments, the keyboards, and the lyrics, if you could understand them or you know them, you have access to them, and have any observations you want to make there. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled trimaximalist, signing off.